Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Lynch & Sons. My name's Jonathan, and as is becoming customary for us on a Saturday afternoon, we're here in the showroom, and we're going to talk a little bit about maybe what we've got on the Ushells behind me, and also anything else you want to have a chat about this afternoon. I'm just waiting for everything to catch up, and I'm going to watch the stream as well, make sure that I've successfully made it onto YouTube. Yeah, but it's only the second time I've done this, so good evening. If you want to, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is. If you want to pop questions in the chat, that would be absolutely excellent. I can see that we're starting to get viewers, so good afternoon to you. Let's a couple of things I want to talk about very briefly. We'll have a look at the used items in a moment. There are a few changes to the video that we published yesterday. Now, bear in mind that when we published that video on the Friday, something for the weekend, we actually record that on a Thursday. So quite often, our repeaters are. I'll turn the repeater volume down. Quite often there are changes, quite significant changes between what's on the shelf on a Thursday when we record the video and what's on the shelves, particularly here on a Saturday and over the weekend. So let's have a look at those in a minute. First off, I want to say yesterday's Something for Weekend video was very popular for one product, which was the QRM eliminator. We've got more on the way, so if you're looking at the website right now, it says they're in pre-order status, which is true. We have got plenty more on the way, so don't let that stop you ordering them at the moment. They are definitely coming back into stock within the next week or so. And another product I want to tell you about that has arrived far quicker than we were expecting is the, and I've got the packaging for it here because I've actually assembled it, but it's the AL705, the magnetic loop made by Alpha Antenna in the States for Acom. They've made this remarkably quickly. Last time we asked for an update on stock availability, it was, we're not quite sure yet, but they've arrived in stock, and so I've assembled one of the antennas. It's lovely made. It's obviously, we've seen this style of magnetic loop before, but it is a loop of coax with the matching section there, fed with a length of RG58, which you get in the box or in the packaging with the loop, and it's very easy to tune. You get to on the bottom tuning section, you get a pot which is tuned basically for maximum noise, and that is how you that's how you do it. So that is the AL705 loop antenna for the IC705, but no reason you couldn't use it with any other QRP radio. Maybe you've got a KX3 or even an FT817 or 818 would also work with it, but in stock now on the website. Good morning from San Diego. Good afternoon from Staines. So that's lovely. Let's have a look at what we've got on the Ushells, and this is why I'm going to apologise in advance to say that I am not a cameraman. Henry, who does the behind the camera and does all the editing for the videos, is a far better cameraman than I am. So I'm going to apologise in advance, but I'm going to pick up the camera and I'm going to hit the button to turn it around, because there are a few changes that I do want to talk about. First of all, we've sold, as you can see at the moment, our used shelves are looking a little bit. Don't worry, we have got more stock on the way, and we've got a couple of items that are just waiting processing, and we've got a few items that are also waiting testing upstairs. But one I want to talk to you very quickly about is this FT857D. Non-D, 857 non-D. It's in a reasonably good condition. It's got a few marks on the side, and I'm sure you can see just there. So it looks like at some point in its life it's had the bracket installed, and that's sort of the typical marks you see for a bracket having been installed. Obviously it has been tested through our workshop A-OK. Like all of our used items, is supplied with a 3-month warranty, and is supplied with the mic and in fact, a brand new microphone. It didn't come in with a microphone, so we've obviously had to put a one with it. So you get a brand new microphone with this one, and the DC lead at yours for just, as you see, that £599. I think that's a really nice price for an 857. As I'm sure many of you are aware, I run an 857 in my own car. The separation kits for these are still available, so if you want to use mobile with maybe an ATAS, that is an absolutely excellent option. What else have we got on the shelves? We've still got that 703 just out there, which I can't believe it's still here, to be honest with you. IC703, of course, 10 watts out on HF and 6 meters with the built-in ATU. And of course boxed with everything there. for just £699. That is an absolute bargain price, I believe. We've sold, I think, one of the 991As, but we've still got this one here at £10.49. This is, of course, Yaesu's 100-watt HF VHF UHF. 100 watts out on HF and 6, 50 watts out on VHF UHF. All band transceiver with C4 FM on VHF UHF. This one is boxed with mic, manual and DC cable for just £10.49. Save yourself, you know, you're going to save yourself a few £100 off what you'd pay for one brand new. What else have we got just here? We mentioned on the video on yesterday, the one we recorded on Thursday, but the one that went out yesterday, this JRC JST245DX. I also want to mention it. We've got the JRC NVA88 speaker, which is almost the right speaker for the 245. It's so I'm sure you can see it's just a little bit shallower at the back, but it does match up the front quite lovely. Sort of height-wise, it's certainly pretty spot on. So if you wanted both the NVA88 and the JST245, I'm sure we could do a little bundle price there. What else have we got? I've got an FC50 just set up here. If you've got yourself an 891 and you're looking for an ATU for it, what's better than the proper Yaesu job? This one, 175, of course, comes with a box and all the briquetry that you need. It's a lovely little ATU. The 891 will slot in the top of it and it then sort of transports as one unit rather than as two separate things. That's a really nice added functionality there. Yours, just 175. Again, you're going to be saving yourself, there is the best part of £100 off what you pay for one brand new. MFJ 945E, the little 300 watt travel tuner or mobile tuner as they call it, £115 there. Let's just turn my attentions, I'll pop you back there, Davio. Let's just turn our attention to the chat. Please feel free to ask any questions this afternoon. That's the whole idea of these informal live things. Is the Diamond X700HN come in? I don't believe so, Barry, but I will. I'll happily double check and I'll give you a call. I haven't seen any arrive. We did have a Diamond delivery last week. We had a few V2000s arrive for some people on back order. We haven't got any of those. Haven't got any free stock left of those, but I will double check on X700HNs. I don't believe they have, but we'll double check, Barry, and I will let you know. So these Saturday afternoons are designed for you to ask questions of us. Obviously, at the moment, with the current restrictions in place, we're very aware that you aren't able to come into the showroom. So that's the whole idea of this. Paul is asking, do you have any 9800s? I assume you mean the TYT TH9800. Yes, we do, available from stock. You might have seen in the Something for the Weekend video we did last weekend. I did a little featurette on the TYT. In fact, there's one. I'm tethered on a cable for my microphone. I'm not going to be able to get it without taking you with me. Come with me, dear viewer. We have got one just sat over here. But this is the one you saw in the video. TYT TH9800, 10.6, 2 and 70. Nice mobile. 50 watts out on 10.6 and 2, but 40 watts out on 77s. Very similar to another radio, as I'm sure you'll be able to guess. It does crossband repeat. It does pretty much everything you'd expect from a quad band mobile. So that's. I hope that answers your question, Paul. Yes, they are in stock. Yes, we can ship them immediately for £199. Let's have a look, see what else is here. Any news on the Acom delivery? Soon is the answer on Acom. We in conversations with the Acom factory in Bulgaria only this last week. We understand they are in a position to ship very soon. So do keep we're keeping our eyes from the ground and all of that on the Acom delivery. If I hit that button, oh no, I can't see that's not good. I can't see anything at all. I'm just waiting for this. I'm using my iPad to see the chat, and there's a bit of a delay, so I sometimes see messages pop up on my screen there, and then it takes a few moments for them to appear on my iPad. It's a bit of a pain, isn't it, really? But but there we go. Good evening to Callum, good afternoon to Callum, who's also said hello there, and also to Jimbo. Good evening, good afternoon, Jimbo. Afternoon to Bruce as well. Yeah, nice to see you, Bruce. Hope you're getting out. Hope you're able to get out on the water. I've no idea where you are at the moment. I suppose it's on your boat. I don't know whether you'd be allowed to under these current conditions. I suppose potentially not. I don't know what the rules are surrounding activities like that. West Ham, thank you very much. Hello from Belfast. Good afternoon, Callum. That's very nice of you to say good afternoon. Any questions about anything you like, please do feel free to pop them in the chat. When there's only so much talking at a camera that I can do without a little bit of prompting. So any questions, if you want any advice, I was talking to a colleague of mine, Richard, who you saw in last week's video. He's been playing with these 64:1 transformers that 49:1 transformers that we've got in. If you have a look on our website for those, and we were having a deep discussion earlier on today about how they defy physics. We were looking at a chart of SWR, and they just didn't make any sense. Any update on the FGX10? All the information we have on the FGX10 is on the website, but I'll go through it briefly with you. In terms of availability, we're hopeful for December deliveries, so we'll keep you posted on that. We are opened up for deposits on the website, of course, over the phone as well. So if you are interested in the new HF6 and 4 SDR transceiver from Yaesu, best thing to do is get a deposit on the website. It looks like it's going to be an extremely nice radio. Obviously, it's got the same size screen as the FTDX101, obviously, but you've only got one receiver, and they've slimmed it down in order to get it into that smaller chassis. Bruce says there's no boating for recreation use at the moment. Well, fair enough. That's I didn't know how that would work. I honestly didn't. Yeah. So going back to these end-fed, half-wave end-fed transformers, Richard and I were talking earlier on, and it didn't seem to make any sense how they work, but they do, and they are back in stock. So if you want to have a play with antennas, maybe as before the winter really sets in, you want to change your antenna setup, might be worth having a look there and building something. Of course, antennas are all in stock at the moment. Let's have a quick look, see if there's any other questions. How do you detect birdies on switching power supply, and are the Elenkos noisy? The Elenkos are not noisy at all. In fact, we in most of the power supplies that we sell, in fact all of them, I think we generally do tests for birdies. The easiest way to do it is to power a radio off a power supply. If you've got a power supply that you think might be a bit suspect, or you want to see if a power supply is creating any birdies, the only way to really do it is to power a radio off of it. If you've got a radio that's got a scope in it, it can be a little bit easier because you can easily tell the difference, but the best way to do it is to power the radio from the power supply, and then if you've got either another power supply that you know to be clean, or a battery, power the radio off the battery and observe the difference. There really is, that's the only way to do it. But as for the Elenkos, yeah, absolutely. Also good power supplies are our Myodel MP30. Those switch mode power supplies, they're very clean indeed. But if you want to avoid switch mode entirely, and some people do, some people much prefer a big heavy linear. The ones we've got behind me, the MP304s, they are a really, really good power supply, 30 amp peak. Does ML&S ship to PA? I assume you mean Pennsylvania. Yes, we do. We ship worldwide on a daily basis. If you go to the website, fill in your address details, we can certainly give you a shipping quote. If it's something a bit big and bulky, you might want to contact us and we can do a proper shipping quote. Is there a cheap 270cm radio that does CW2? I suppose the cheapest you'd be looking at would be something like the FT818. In theory, there's nothing else that I'm coming to the top of my head. Multi-band or multi-mode VHF, UHF radios only exist in one form, which is the IT9700. So you'd probably be looking at something that has HF on it as well, in which case FT818 would be the one to go for. Any I'll try that one again with my teeth in. Ian asks, any recommendation for a mid-range 270 m mobile for home use? D-Star capability is a plus. Probably the ID5100 would be a good option if you're looking for something brand new. If you're looking used, we do have just sat here the ICE2820, which has D-Star on it as well. I'll just bring that a little bit closer. That is a nice option. We've got one used at the moment. It's on the website at $299, boxed and complete. But yeah, brand new stock 5100 would be the way forward. If you'd like something, maybe have a bit more features for, maybe something with HF on it as well, then IC7100 is a good one. Bash asks, your keys from Vine antennas look very interesting and seem decent value. Can you tell us anything about them? I don't have one out, but they are obviously pictured on the website. They're a lovely, they all use the same mechanism, which is a magnetic mechanism, unlike things like the Kent paddle keys, which are sprung. They're magnetized and they feel absolutely beautiful. They even make mice ending sound good, and that must be an amazing thing. So they are fantastic keys. They are. They're manufactured in Eastern Europe for Vine, and then we get them in as well, and they're absolutely fantastic. So highly recommend having a look at those. Any news from the Kenwood Soberline replacement for the TS2000? No, at the moment, but as soon as we hear anything new from any of the manufacturers, of course, we will present it here first, and we'll always, we don't hold information that we don't put out there. We always try and be as open as possible. Kellermas, can the FGX10 be widebanded? Simply, Callum, we don't know. We don't get that kind of information until after the radio is already here. But if past experience is anything to go by, then probably. But we just don't know at the moment. I can't give you a absolute concrete answer on that. But if I was guessing, probably is the answer, but I just can't tell. Hi Jonathan, HF Mobile, anything interest for 2040 and 80? Depends how you're going to mount it on your car, and depends if you're going to go actually mobile. So I showed an 857 earlier on in terms of radios. 857 is always a good shout. If you're looking new, FT891 for HF and 6 meters will do absolutely perfectly. In terms of antennas, so we do a few options. If you're going to actually go mobile, if you want to be having a QSO whilst in motion, then you want to be looking at things like maybe the ATAS if you've got a Yaesu radio, and you've got a way of mounting that onto the vehicle. Yeah, Paul's just said ATAS 120. Yeah, ATAS is fantastic. You may have seen a video that I did, it must be about a year or more ago now, which I demonstrated the ATAS on my car, which I had then. I've now changed cars and I've put the ATAS on the new car as well. ATAS is absolutely brilliant. I can't recommend that enough. If you don't want to go to that expense, and I can understand that if you don't, then have a look at the Diamond single band verticals or single band mobile whips that they do, the HF series. Or if you're not planning on going mobile as in when you're moving, but you want something to put on the car when you're stationary, we do a few antennas. There's one which is called the Midel VH6, which works very well and in stock. Have a look at that one. That's a nice option. It's got a little jumping section that you would have seen, which is quite popular. They work really well. Let's have a look. See, Brett asks, hi Jonathan, I'm looking for a simple radio for 10 meters, SSB FM, can be mobile, needs to do 10 watts. What would you recommend? Not interested in any lower bands. I'll be honest with you, Brett, there isn't a lot that we do. 10 meters is obviously an interesting band. It's great, but nobody's producing anything specifically for 10 meters anymore. Nowadays, you're only going to find 10 meters on HF radios that do everything else. If you're looking for something affordable, then you could have a look at things like the FT450D. or if your budget will stretch to it, IC7100, or if you can stretch your budget a bit further, maybe IC7300 or FT918 maybe. If it's just FM you want, then you could look at the TYT I mentioned earlier on, the TH9800. That does 10 meters FM, but that's not going to give you a sideband. Let's have a look. See, the Ushells transceiver, is that the matching speaker you have for sales also? So I mentioned this at the beginning of the video earlier on. I'll show it to you again. It's just down here. Let me hit that button there. So yeah, it's the NVA88. It's not the exact matching speaker, but it's very close. So yeah, and if you wanted the pair together, give us a call, and I'm sure we can do a. I'll just try and show you. There's a slight colour difference. It looks. I'll be honest with you, that colour difference looks far greater on screen than it does to my eye. But that's if you wanted to pair, say, give us a call, and I'm sure we can do a nice sort of price for you. FT450D is great for 10 meters. In fact, it's superb for all HF on a budget. I would absolutely agree with that. When I first got my full license, I decided I'd treat myself to a new radio. At the time, I wasn't working here at the time, but I was fairly limited on what I could do budget-wise, and the 450D was absolutely great. And in fact, it's still in the family. When I upgraded to a 7300, the 450 went to my dad, and he still uses it today. So it's still a superb radio, and whilst you can still get them because they are sort of beginning to come out of production, FT450D is a fantastic buy, especially with the things like the DSP and the internal ATU. The internal ATU in a 452 is absolutely excellent. Anything else I've missed? I'll have a quick back look through the comments. Oh, do you have a delivery date for Flex 6600M? I missed that one. Also, does anyone want to buy one for Christmas? Well, I'll tell you what, if AD, if someone's buying you a Flex 6600M for Christmas, can I have one too? In terms of delivery date, we're waiting on Flex just to give us a confirmed answer on that one. But we'll obviously keep the website updated as soon as we have news. At the moment, things are taking a little bit longer from most manufacturers, not necessarily in terms of manufacture, but mostly in terms of shipping. At the moment is the slowdown, but we will keep the website up to date with availability. I'm having a quick look back through, see if I've missed anything. Don't think so. Any further questions? I'll only sort of keep going for as long as people want to be asking questions. Let's have a quick look. I'm not sure. There's sometimes comments appear on my screen on my phone, which I'm using to do this, and then they're a bit slower here. Do you recommend the 49-1 for multi-band use? Absolutely. So thank you for reminding me, and I'll come back to that. So Richard, one of my colleagues, and I were talking about the 49-1s only earlier on today, and Richard uses one with a length of wire that's just under 40 meters in length. I think he said it's 39.6 or something like that, and that will work on absolutely every HF band, and it's amazing how well he works. He's been using FT8 for the last few weeks, using his brand new IC7300 that he's got in the last few weeks, and I was amazed with how well he's working. So much so that that I'm very tempted to be doing the same thing and have a look as well. So that's absolutely 49-1 as an end-fed half wave. It's an antenna that seems to defy all physics, really. I keep trying to work out how it works, because it doesn't seem to make sense in any of the antenna theory that we've all been taught when we've been doing our maybe our foundation intermediate exams. It just doesn't seem to make any sense at all, but they do work well. And as Jimbo says, well, he says he uses a 49-1 on his 80 meter to 10 meter end-fed half wave, and he says he works on all bands with a little tuning. That's the thing, is you may need a tuner in circuit. Maybe that will be the internal tuner inside your radio. Maybe that will be an external tuner, maybe a manual tuner. But they do work well. Brett, you're very welcome. No problem whatsoever. It's what we're here for. It's what these Saturday afternoons in the showroom are all about during this lockdown time, and while you can't necessarily come to the showroom and have a good look around as much as we know you'd like to, and as much as ultimately we'd love you to come in and have a look around the showroom. It's the reason that the showroom is here, but we realise that at the moment that's just not allowed to happen. Fingers crossed for the 2nd of December, and fingers crossed for the vaccine news as well, obviously. I'll probably stop this in a few minutes time, so any last questions, please do just get them into the chat. Let's have a look. See, do you ever see any of the older Flex 3000, 5000? Not very often. We'll be honest with you. We don't often see them. The owners of the older Flexes do tend to keep hold of them. And the thing to bear in mind if you are looking for an older Flex is that you will need a Firewire card in your computer. So unless you have Firewire, maybe you have an old Mac or something like that's got Firewire, then you might have issues in running one of the older Flexes. And it's also worth bearing in mind with the older Flexes, as much as they're a really nice radio RF wise, a lot of the processing power is put onto the computer. So with the modern Flexes, things like 6300 onwards, so 63, 65, 67, 64, 6600s for instance, all of the processing, all of the really hard end stuff is done on the radio. With the older Flexes, that's pushed onto the computer, so you can't necessarily run an old Flex with an underpowered machine. You need something fairly high spec in order to run that. Is there any word on the SDR, Sun SDR ATU? Not at the moment, Ralph, but we're keeping the website up to date with any details as and when. Right, last few moments, I'm sort of limiting myself to about half an hour. So any other final questions you want, or if there's anything else you want to see in the showroom quickly before we do call it a day, that'll be excellent. Ralph says that I'll keep checking. Yeah, absolutely do. And that's the thing, is our website we do keep up to date. As we get information from any of the manufacturers about any new radio, we'll put it. Do you sell Apache Labs Anans? Yes, we do. Yeah, so we do. The Anan 8000 DLE is the most recent one. Again, have a look on our website, hamradio.co.uk, and just search for Apache Labs. It'll bring them all up. There's a search bar at the top. In fact, if you just put in Anan in that box, that will definitely bring up all of the Anans. I'm probably going to call it a day there. As I keep your eyes peeled on the website, particularly if you're interested in news. We're going to have some new stuff going up this afternoon and also on Monday, as something is coming down from the workshop after being tested. So do keep your eyes on the website, hamradio.co.uk/used. We'll get you straight to the used section. So at the moment they're looking a bit bare. Oh, one final question. When you call it a day, can you use the camera looking at the TS990? Sure, no problem at all. I can do that. Thanks so much for this. You're very welcome. We'll have another one next week. Next week should have been our hog roast. Obviously in the current climate, that's not happening, but we look forward to seeing as many of you next time we do one of our open days as possible. But I am going to call it a day, and as promised, I will leave the camera for the last few final seconds looking at the TS990. I say apologies, I am not a cameraman. I will turn the radio on just so it's not looking at a blank screen, and let me just turn that around. There we go. Final shot of the TS990, and I will see you very soon, and we'll see you in the next Something for the Weekend video, which will be up this coming Friday, and I guess emailed out about midday. So if you're not signed up to the newsletter on the website, go down to the bottom of the page. You can sign up for the newsletter there and have the videos emailed directly to you. Right, with the Kenwood coming on, I'm going to disappear. See you soon. Bye bye.